Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Talking Tradesman. With me this week, I have returning guest, none other than Kristian Foxy Devos.
Here I
Chris,
am.
as always, mate, massive thank you for coming and giving up your time and sitting down with me for a second time.
Mate, I'm always happy to come out and see you. It was great last time. I mean, it's changed a lot in here, hasn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah, I really wanted to come to your opening day thing, but I can't remember what I had to do, but it was definitely something important because I was devastated that I missed it. But yeah, man, it looks so good in there. It's a great space.
It's very rare I say this, but I'm happy with it.
You're proud of yourself?
I don't know whether I'd go that far.
I think you should be.
I hate taking praise.
Yeah, no, you should be proud of yourself.
I'm happy with this space.
Yeah.
I think considering where it started and what it's grown to.
Yeah.
But to be honest, mate, it's all down to people like yourself, your support, everyone who listens, their support, the sponsors that have enabled me to, invest some money to get this kind of setup. So it's been an incredible journey for everybody involved, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know. Like, to be fair, mate, it's night and day from where you were before.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you made it look very good, but it was literally a cupboard.
It was a
wasn't it? And now, look where you are. And, I'm sure when I come back again, it'll be even better, mate. Like,
I affectionately refer to the last place as the broom cupboard.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, and this is how I am on social media, is so long as everything is in an upward trajectory, you're doing fine. Even if it's only that much of an incline. As long as it's going up, it doesn't matter, does it?
It was one of those, mate. It was a big jump because when I had the little office, there were very little overheads.
Yeah.
And it got to that point of kind of going, okay, well, it's been quite popular. I've been surprised by the uptake of it.
Yep.
I could settle into comfort now and just sit here. And then this place came up and I was like,
I'm not surprised how well it's done. When I first came, because of the things that we covered, I think that this podcast just connects to so many people. I mean, the amount of messages I had after I did your podcast, people reaching out to me with their own issues and stuff, and were like, I saw what you said in the podcast, and this is how I feel about this, and I've struggled with this as well, and yeah, I'm not surprised that this took off.
I was going to ask you that question, mate. Actually, it was one of the questions I was going to ask you today. Was how was what was the not the backlash, wrong word, the response to the last one that you did?
I think whenever I open up about my feelings, my struggles with addiction, or any of that kind of side of me, people do tend to latch onto it because that's not who I am online. I've said it before. I have felt very low. I tried to take my own life. And I don't want anyone else to feel like that. So I always try and purvey happiness, and make people laugh and entertain people. It's maybe like a bit of a self-preservation thing, because if they're laughing at this character that I've created, then they can't really laugh at me or, who I really am. I think you have to have a little bit of that online. You have to create some sort of alter ego. I mean, Foxy is not Kristian, but it's a sort of like maybe the volume's turned down a little bit online, because even though I am this big character online, I'm an even bigger character not online. I'm even more loud, even more annoying, even more. It's just, as well as that, you get the real part of me as well, whereas I don't give that real part of me to the internet because people can, it just hurts more when somebody's mean to you, basically. But yeah, I think being that person online is quite draining, and being that person all the time is quite draining. But I don't know. I think it just resonates with people a little bit more when you're not exactly who you are online. Do you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people put on a front at work with their friends, with their family and stuff. And I used to get messages. I mean, definitely after I did your podcast, but even following that, I did the Trades Legends podcast. And then I also did this suicide prevention thing with On the Tools. And the messages for that were unreal, because I talked about my suicide attempt. And that must have just touched a lot of people, because I spoke about how it affected me, my children. I need a burp button, don't I? But I talked about like really raw as well, was very, very honest on it. And I had hundreds of messages from that of people just reaching out to share their own stories and, say, I was in a similar place and, I went through this. Then a lot of, I don't want to say mentally unwell, but sick people, like people that are clearly
still in the midst of it,
not okay, and I give those people a big breathing room, because when you're in that mindset, you're not thinking straight. You're like people wanting to meet up with me and come and see me and stuff, and I was like, no, I think they're probably still suffering.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think your podcast has a massive impact on people. Do you notice it? Do you
do I realise it?
Yeah, like obviously you see the messages and stuff, just like I see the messages with the decorating and stuff, and I see the comments like, you inspired me to do my decorating, or you see that stuff, but I don't know if it actually goes in to me thinking like that is the person that I am and I am helping them people. Do you think that like it really shows what you're doing? Do you feel it?
At times, mate. And I think and it doesn't matter, like how can I put it? The occasional message that I get will break through the barrier, but it's nothing to do with the message, if I'm honest. It's not because, and anyone that sent me a message, obviously I'll take time to read them and I reply, but there's like, how can I put it? There's a big difference. If that message comes when my walls are down and I might be having a little reflective moment, it goes in.
Yes.
But if that message comes and I'm on my way to quote a job, or you kind of, I have this thing where I'm like, I need to respond. I don't want to seem rude. Yeah. So I don't like to leave it. I'm not going to read it and go, I'm going to check back on that in 6 hours when I'm sat down at home.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to switch off as well. So I tend to respond in the moment. And I would say one of the things I probably personally need to work on a bit is appreciating the moment, because I'm very the next goal, the next guest, the next, I'm thinking about, I've got to edit that, do this, do that, do the other. Genuinely, mate, I feel like I'm only just starting. I feel like now, like what you were touching on with the studio, I'm not quite there. Like I was telling you earlier, there's a few things I need to do, but once I've done those bits, I almost feel like that'll be day one, because then I'll feel like, okay, so now I've got like a proper podcast. Let's see what I can do now.
Mate, you've already got a proper podcast.
I don't feel like I think that's
you have got a proper podcast, mate. And listen, you've already got loads of fans out there that really support you. And I've had messages from people talking about you, and that they didn't even realise that I was on the podcast. They were flicking through your podcast episodes and then saw one with me. Trust me, you've got a proper podcast.
Let's pause a moment to thank our headline sponsors, Zinza, and let's talk about their product, Zinza Bin. Zinza Bin is a shellac-based formula, and it sticks to any surface without the need for sanding. It dries in 15 minutes and can be recoated in 45. Zinza Bin blocks stains, knots, sap streaks and odours, including water stains, oil stains, mould, nicotine, pen and more. It really is a fantastic product. Let's get back to the episode.
But I would say, similar to what I have to deal with, especially with you, what you said about having to reply to people and trying to be the best version of yourself when they do. The Talking Tradesman is not Russell. This is just a very special part of you that listens and helps and is doing amazing things for people that are struggling. But that's not all Russell is. You have to detach those two things. Sometimes you don't have time to take everybody's problems on board. The thing is, whenever somebody messages you, they think they're talking to the Talking Tradesman. But if you're having a bad day, or you're struggling at work, or you're dealing with something, you haven't got the energy to be the Talking Tradesman every time they get hold of you. And that doesn't make you a bad person. I had to learn that lesson myself. I try and reply to every single message I get about decorating, because especially with decorating questions, I mean, fucking out hundreds of thousands of messages since I started. It's ridiculous. My inbox is full. But I can't give that energy to everyone. I can't take a message, see what their problem is, and go, right, okay, well, I'll probably do this. And then you apply, and then you end up in a conversation with that person. And I'm in conversation with about 300 people, because then they always message you about, and that's fine. And I'll always reply when I can, especially if somebody's like, it's urgent, I really need your help. But you can't give that to everyone. And I think the best way to do that, that I personally think to do that, is to do what you're doing, keep making podcasts and keep interviewing people so people can get something from that. And then in the comments, answer a few people as much as you can, but you can't get back to everyone. I tried to do it, and it's ridiculous.
I haven't hit that like big volume thing yet. Whether I will or not, I don't know. But there are definitely them days, mate. I'm very cautious of where I position myself, because obviously mental health is such an important subject. But also I've got to be very careful that I don't position myself as some sort of like resource for help. So because I can't be responsible for fixing people.
No, of course not. No, of course not.
So what I will do, and always have done, is signpost people to organisations that are there for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I have had.
That's what I've tended to do as well. Yeah. I think actually you have a responsibility to do that, because you can't just take people's problems. Because I mean, you are qualified. Obviously, you've worked for the Samaritans, but I'm not qualified to tell someone who's thinking about ending their own life what they should and shouldn't do. I had a girl recently who I'd seen on social media doing all sorts of crazy stuff, like self-harming and things. And I messaged her to try and help her, give her some resources that she could help. But then also just tried to like be there. When I saw those posts pop up, I'd just be like, remember, God loves you. You have a purpose, and you can't see it now, but you will in time. And it's going to be beautiful. I promise you that. And she's still here at the moment, so we're working on that. But
it's a tough one, mate, because I see both sides of the coin. It's such a responsibility, man.
Yeah.
Like if you're speaking to somebody that's in crisis, and you take that responsibility on, which is what I'm careful not to do, is because, like you said, like, you're busy, I'm busy. If you miss that message, or you miss that cry for help,
God forbid,
like, that's a weight on your shoulders, which is why, as I say, I have had people reach out to me in crisis and asking for support, and I've signposted to organisations that are there to do that.
It's all right. It's fine to give people advice, especially if it's something you've been through yourself. I mean, you said, I think last time we spoke, you said you'd struggled with drinking and stuff in your past. Was that right?
Yeah. Well, I went through stages of drinking, which I would say is toxic. Yeah.
And I get a lot of that, I think. I think people just probably look at me and think, he's a fuckhead. He's definitely my kind of person. If he can get off everything, then so can I. But yeah, man, it's tough. Especially when somebody's like, if they're in the midst of doing drugs and alcohol, it's very difficult to communicate with them properly. Because also, as well, they don't want to talk about the bad stuff. They want to be in a happy mood because they're buzzing because, they've done this or they've done that. And trying to get that person round to, center is impossible. So I think the only way you can do it is just like, put them in the right direction, sort of thing.
I guess the other thing.
You don't mind if I pack up a decade? No, will I get reprimanded for putting a nicotine patch in?
No, absolutely not. Is that what that is?
Yeah. So I've stopped vaping.
Yeah.
This morning. So I have been trying to quit for a while, but I've tried to cut down, and for some reason with nicotine, I cut down, and then before I know it, I'm back up again vaping normally. And it's the thing with cigarettes is, like, when I stopped smoking cigarettes, I cut down to a pack of 10 a day, and then it was 5 a day, and then it was after every meal, and then it was only in the morning, and then I stopped. With a vape, you can't really have a cigarette's worth. So you don't really know how much you've had, and then you just keep having it, and then before you know it, you're having it all bloody day long. So I decided this morning, I was like, right, I'm gonna get some nicotine patches. I'm gonna try these. I'm just gonna stop.
Seen them before, mate.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stop. That all it is, it's like a nicotine thing. I shouldn't be advertising it. You shouldn't do these, by the way. This is not an advertisement.
Being 18 rated.
Yeah, 18 or over. But like, I just think it's better than putting that crap in your lungs. I watched this video this morning, and it was a study that they'd done on vapors, and this machine had done like a biopsy scan. I don't know the real term, whatever it is. and it was the tissue damage inside of the lungs, and a non-vapor had like little red marks just from normal stuff like breathing in dust particles, or over the years you get scar tissue.
It wasn't a decorator's lungs.
Well, it might be like bright red, yeah. But then this person vaped for 2 years, and their lungs were just red with scar tissue, all red. There was spots everywhere, and I was like, "That's 2 years. I've been smoking and vaping for 15 years. I just can't do this anymore."
Mate, listen, it can't be a bad thing to get off it, can it?
No. Like, I know they say it's better than smoking, but the thing with smoking is it's like tar. That's the issue. Whereas with vapes, it's those chemicals that you're putting in. So, yeah, I'm trying to get off them. I've completely quit drinking because I go through these stages with alcohol.
When did you quit drinking?
About 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Sorry, I just burped well loud into the mic.
Hopefully,
I apologise for that.
Get out.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. But that's like across the board. No beers, no glasses of wine, not even a shandy.
Well, the first thing I did when he walked in was say, "Do you want a beer?"
Yeah, but I've got over that. Do you know? Like some of the hardest things have happened in the last like couple of weeks as well. Like the Eubank Ben fight. I was screwing for a beer watching that, man. But I just stay sober, and I kind of enjoyed it more because I wasn't being annoying. And I don't realise how annoying I am when I've had a drink, but I become louder, I become more obnoxious, and I'm much more rude. And after I'd finished watching the fight, I was like, I wasn't screaming at the TV, I wasn't stood up going, "God," like that. And I just enjoyed it. And I watched the fight, and I remember the fight properly because I didn't then go out and get pissed up afterwards. And I was like, yeah, this is all right. And then I've had a few troubles at work, stuff that's been stressing me out, like where I would normally always go, I've got to have a glass of wine tonight, or I've got to have a beer tonight. Even if it's just a beer, my mind goes, I've got to have something to like combat that stress. And I just haven't. And I've just dealt with that.
Do you know what, mate?
Feeling.
I've sort of got a rule with myself, which is if I think to myself, I've got to have, or I really need because, I won't have one. Like, if I want a beer because I want a beer, just because, whatever it might be, sunny Saturday, I'm sweet with that. But if it's because I've had a shit day, a stressful day, or something's happened, I won't reach for one. Because I know that's a want. Yeah. That's a coping mechanism. Let's take a quick break there to thank this episode's sponsors, Brewers Decorators Centres. Brewers have got over 200 stores nationwide. They're the premier destination for decorators, and they stock all of the best brands in the industry. Brewers give the best advice in store, and on top of that, you can get 10% off your first and second purchase, plus trade rates and free delivery when you sign up for a Brewers Pro Trade Card. A massive thanks again to Brewers for supporting the Talking Tradesman podcast and helping us raise mental health awareness throughout construction and beyond. Let's get back to the episode. It's, and I've got how can I put it? Being raised around a drinker, I'm very conscious of that if you start turning to alcohol as a crutch
to solve your problems.
And it comes down, mate, doesn't it? Because you'll go from turning to beer because you've had a terrible day, and then it's, well, actually, I didn't have a great day, and then it's, well, it was an average day, and you end up just...
The trouble is, it fucking works. Like that, like if it didn't work, and if you had a few beers and you forget about the problems, admittedly, they're still there the next day. They've not gone anywhere. You've just put them to bed. But for that respite, that moment, you're like, I can stop thinking about it for a second. But that's not a healthy way of dealing with it, because the healthy way of dealing with it is to feel that anxiety, feel that nervousness or that anger or that sadness, and bring it to the surface and like experience that emotion. I am starting to think, because this is the first time I've been like completely and utterly sober since I was like 16. I mean, I've stopped drinking for little spats and stuff, but never like I'm not having a single drink. I don't think ever. I think I've been addicted to some sort of substance since I was about 17. I don't see it as an addiction, and most people don't see it as an addiction. But if you're going, I need a drink on a Friday night, guess what? You're addicted. If you have to have a drink on a Friday night, and if you try to stop, you can't, you are addicted. Just because you're not waking up and drinking alcohol, that doesn't mean you're not addicted.
I think if you prefix it with "I need a,"
that I think that's a good mark stick for the issue, isn't it?
Oh, see, that's where I've gone to. I'm like, I would like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would like.
But I'm such a dickhead. I'd be like, I'd be going home on Friday night going, do you know, I would like a beer this evening. I don't need one, but I would like one. But I guess you know the truth.
It's exactly. It's being honest with yourself, mate, isn't it? So there's no point. You can lie to everyone else, but if deep down you know what's going on.
Yeah. Trouble is, I've got very good at lying to myself over the years that I haven't got a problem with something. It's mad, dude.
It's growth, though, isn't it? I mean, I would imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this past year for you, like getting involved in everything you've just listed, the podcast, the On the Tools campaigns, is probably the most you've talked about it in,
Oh, for sure, yeah. Mate, I don't think I've felt anything properly since I was a child.
Really?
I don't think I've ever, really, truly felt an emotion for myself since I was a kid. I get upset about stuff, but it's generally more to do with how that is affecting other people. Like when I've had problems with alcohol in the past or drugs in the past, it makes me sad that it hurts my mum more. I'm not bothered about myself. I care less about myself. And I never have ever sat down and gone, how does that make me feel about the way I'm behaving? Or, and I've never really broken it down and seen what the core issue is behind the things that I'm doing. I've just been very reactive in my life towards things that have happened. But yeah, I don't think I've felt like I can't cry if I'm upset or frustrated with something in my own life. I can feel empathy for other people. Yeah. Like, I'll cry my eyes out at a Disney movie or a Sainsbury's advert. But my actual emotions, I honestly don't think I feel them. I've got frustrated about a job before or something that's wound me up, and I will go trying to squeeze out an emotion and tried to cry. I can't.
Can't do it.
I can't do it. I think there's a weird thing with my dad as well. My dad, growing up, my dad was very, very old school, and he was like, boys don't cry. Deal with it now, cry about it later was his thing, which is, to be fair, it works. Especially if you're in a crisis and the shit hits the fan. You're no good if you're in bubbling mess. If a kid hurts himself, one of my kids falls over, I'm no good to them if I'm a screaming mess. I need to be stoic. But I think I've carried that a bit too far. And now
it's hard to get out of, mate.
Yeah.
I think I resonate with that, to be honest, Foxy.
Yeah.
Similar thing. My upbringing was the same. I mean, I'll take it back. I think the earliest memory I've got of it was probably football, because I used to play centre half, and my old man always used to say, if anyone hurts you, never let them know.
Yeah.
And it was I could really be hurt and I'd be stone-faced.
Yeah.
And that was the same, big men don't cry.
I can't even imagine crying from hurting myself.
No.
I'll be going, I wouldn't cry.
Yeah.
But it's the same with everything. I could sit here now and I could talk about my children, my mum. That would make me cry. I spoke to you before about how others feel. In fact, I think I got upset on the last episode because I was talking to you about the fact that I felt really, really, really low in my life, and I don't want other people to feel like that. And that made me upset, thinking about other people. I could cry now about my mum. I could cry about my kids, but I could never get that emotion out of myself. I could never sit here and be like, I can't squeeze it out of me. I can't get that emotion to come out of me about myself. I think that is something that I would benefit from some counselling. Like, I don't seem to hold myself in this as high a regard as I hold other people.
Yeah.
That's deep, isn't it? I don't really care about myself as much as I care about other people.
Mate, I'm sat here resonating with what you're saying, though. I think I'm the same.
Yeah.
I've said many times that, like, I feel my purpose in life is, like my wife and kids, is to look after them, provide for them, make sure they're okay, and be there for them. I've never really considered who's there for me.
I
think, myself, you know,
like, if someone was to ask me what would make you happy, truly content, and to the point where nothing else mattered and everything was bliss, my honest answer would be that everybody else is happy, that my kids are happy, my mum's happy, my family's happy. You know, that would bring me true happiness. But that's not my own happiness. Yeah. I do feel as though I'm here to serve.
If you took all that away, like not in a morbid way,
yeah,
to say that they weren't there, they'd never been there, you'd never experienced them, and it was just you, Chris, as a person.
I don't think that person would know what happiness felt like, because I don't think I ever do anything really truly for myself. I do selfish things, but the things that I do for my family, everything is always for that. Every extra hour at work, every side hustle, every business I've ever built has always been to give them a better life. I don't think there's anything wrong with that neither. You know, I don't see a problem with men serving a purpose, but you know, what is that to me? The thing is, I genuinely that would make me complete if I knew that they're both going to be taken care of.
It yourself, mate. I think that is your purpose. It's very similar to mine.
Is there anything wrong with that, though?
I don't think there is. I mean, see, one of the things I've been thinking a lot about recently is like the definition of masculinity or being a man. I think that's it.
But I'm told online that that's wrong, that we shouldn't. We're not just here to serve women and children. And further than that, they don't even want our help. Women don't need men in that regard.
Do you not think this is perhaps where a lot of blokes are lost? Because you've taken, and this is one of my points, is like, I know me personally, and I speak about me and my feelings, and everybody's different, and that's fine.
Yeah.
My own purpose in life and focus, I'm the same as you. Everything I do has an undertone of, I'm doing this for my family.
Yeah,
I'm doing this for, I don't think I do anything for myself in a similar way.
Even if it looks like I'm doing it selfishly, like the online stuff that I do, listen, I've got a cool job, and I really appreciate everything that has happened and come to me. I get to do cool stuff now. Even sometimes when I'm at work, I'm walking around a show with taking photos of people and chatting to them, and I'm at work getting paid a lot of money. But like, I'm genuinely not doing that for me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it because I'm like, oh, I really want to be there. I'm thinking, if I can continue this and build this momentum, there's going to become a time where, you know, my kids will never have to work again. Their kids won't have to worry about stuff, and like, I'll be able to facilitate all these things. Everything that they've ever wanted, I'll be able to give them. It just looks like it's fun because of the last 15 years that I've been working my arse off to get myself in a position where I can have enough free time to be able to focus on social media. Like, man, it's been a fucking grind. Like, it's been so much hard work, man.
From another angle, though, mate, would you have done all this if it wasn't for that? Or if you didn't have that drive, that purpose, would you have done all the hard yards in the beginning where you weren't getting paid or recognised? Probably not.
Yeah, I didn't get paid fuck all for about a year and a half. Yeah, it's only in the last like 6 months that I've actually got paid like a decent amount. You know, big shout out to CT1 because they took me on early doors, and a massive shout out to On the Tools because they have really just given me so many opportunities to work with brands and stuff. But even in the early days, you know, On the Tools, they can only do so much.
Yeah.
They can only give you the brand deals that come in. And
in fairness, mate, I remember this because it was one of the subjects we talked about last time, and you sat there and you said that you were earning less than when you had your business.
Oh, yeah. I would argue probably still. But I'm doing a hell of a lot less actual work. So
when you say that, you mean like physical?
Yeah, like, listen, I mean, this isn't work. This is like just chatting with your mates. And it's the same with the online stuff. It is work and it is hard, but mate, calling man on a fucking skirting board, it ain't the same as that, is it?
Yeah,
you know, this is cushy.
Yeah.
You know, and actually 80% of the population get to enjoy that. You know, most people's jobs is going into work, sitting at a desk, having a nice little lunch, having a chat, little water cooler chat, and then back to your office desk. Like, listen, that's work, and everybody, you know, it's all about perspective. But mate, when you're sanding down beams in an attic full of itchy rock wool, that's a different type of work, man. And then you start sweating and it starts sticking to you, and that thin plastic overcoat you've got on you gets full of it, and then you're literally inside of an itching bag in the height of summer. It's beading down. That's fucking work.
You're giving me PTSD talking about that,
mate. And I don't have to do that anymore because I get to pick and choose what I do. But there are a lot of men out there that don't have that choice.
The vast majority of men.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But listen, I want it to be said on the record, I did my time. Don't think that because I work for myself, there was no other person to do it. So all of the shit jobs you can imagine I've done in the last 12 years, I did all of them. So
I think, though, mate, it comes down to a little bit of what you've already said, like the way you're wired, the drive to provide for your family.
Yeah.
And I've got the same thing. It's the reason why I can't settle, which is probably a little bit of the reason why I can't fully appreciate what I've achieved, because I'm always going, but I need the next bit and the next bit and the next bit. So I can't settle into it. I've never been able to settle.
No.
Whereas I know people, I'm almost envious of them, you know, that can, let's pick anything, like just turn up to a 9-to-5 job from the age of, 20 to retirement, doing a similar role, and they're happy with that.
Yeah.
They go home, they're happy, that they're making their margins, they've got a little bit of expendable, they're covering the bills, and they're happy with that.
Yeah. I
know that I could never be happy with that.
Yeah. Mate, it's different people. And do you know who made me see this the most? Is Tom. Tom's been working for me now for 4 to 5 months.
Big shout out, Assistant Tom.
Big shout out, Assistant Tom.
Him, to be fair, but
yeah, no. So his partner lives, his mum lives in Kidderminster, so they've just popped around there for a little bit. But you might get to see him when we leave. But he doesn't want the same things I want.
Yeah.
And I used to go, whoa, come on, like you know, you got so much. You're not here forever. You need to get on this. And he's like, I can't sort of just happy working in a factory. And he worked in the factory, like loads of different factories, until he was like 30. And then recently I was like, dude, there's an opportunity here. You know, you can work for me. You can drive, you can do the driving, you can do the camera work, and then you can do a bit of decorating to help me, you know, and stuff. And you can be full time. And he's happy with that. He doesn't then want to go on to do to then be something else. It's not like a stepping stone to another thing. He's more than happy. All Tom wants, not to get discombobulated with it, but all Tom wants is the same thing but more money. If Tom could do what he does now and get paid more, that's a perfectly that, and that's from his mouth as well. He said that. I think there's a sort of thing in the zeitgeist at the moment that everybody's got to be like a super achiever. But not everybody wants that.
Yeah.
And I think that those people are like now shunned as if like they're not good enough, even though, you know, on social media, I mean. But like some people just don't want that. Some people just want a normal life without any stress. Tom would not want all the shit that I have to deal with. Like if it's not the dance school, it's a decorating company, or it's the shit online with social media. Like I am always putting out a fire somewhere, whether it's a financial one, whether it's staff members. I mean, there's 16 staff members that work at the dance school, and they're all girls, most of them young women. There's a lot of teachers as well, and there's always something going on. So we're constantly having to deal with problems there. I don't think Tom would, I tell you what, he wouldn't want that for any kind of money. And I think most people wouldn't. But when you're, I don't want to call myself a high achiever because that would be cringe as fuck. But when you have got that attitude towards stuff that you just want to be the best at this thing, you sort of look at those people and go like, come on, man. Like, I want you to do this. And they're like, no, man, I'm sweet. Like, this is fine for me. I'm
See,
good
that's what
here.
I mean. Like, I've stood back and made that observation myself and gone, I know that's not me, but there's a beauty to that. And like, there's a part of me that goes, I almost wish that I could just switch, just for a bit, and just be content. I don't think, another big statement, I don't think I have ever been content.
No,
like full stop, ever. The amount that when I've been earning, the most I've been earning, there's always been, what next? What now? What more?
Do you believe in God?
You know, no.
Why?
I think I'm more science-based, mate, if I'm honest. I'm open to, I guess, spirituality. I've studied religions. I don't believe in a single God.
No, I don't.
I think if there was anything where I resonate closest to, it's probably Buddhism. I think I believe in energy, and I don't believe energy can be stopped. So it transfers, which is kind of close to the Buddhist sort of theory of like reincarnation.
Yeah.
I don't believe in I think, in fact, it's not that I don't believe in reincarnation. I think we in the West have got it mixed up. We believe reincarnation is you die, you wake up as a rabbit, or you die, you wake up as a baby.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's more, say if I die now, I get buried tomorrow, I get put in the ground. There's energy within me, like on a molecular level. So protons, neutrons, all that kind of stuff that make up physical matter.
Yeah.
That dissolves into, say, the ground if I'm buried, which becomes the soil, which then nourishes a plant, which might be then eaten by a deer, so that energy is then spread out into other things. Personally, that is my version of reincarnation. It's transference of energy.
It's interesting. I used to be there. When I was younger, I went to a Church of England primary school and I was taught about God. And for a long time, I believed it until one day I was like, so there's just someone living in the clouds. I had that sort of epiphany where I was like, nah, that doesn't work. And then through basically my entire adolescent life, I thought, no, there's definitely not one. And I was very, very science-based. And literally till about 3 years ago, I was like 100%. You know, if you look at it, the thing with science is you can prove it. You can prove there isn't, like, you can't prove there isn't a God, but there is no evidence that there is one. Everything that happens, you can prove why it happened. Even if it's a supernatural experience, there is always a very logical answer as to why that thing's happened, even if it's a massive coincidence. However, I am now leaning towards something. I don't know if it's God, but there are times when I have been super low and I've prayed. I've prayed for someone to help me. And that has been answered. Now, whether that's because I'm putting that energy out into the world and going, I sort of almost like surrendering myself to the inevitable and accepting and having peace with it. But when I've asked for peace and when I've asked God for things, I've been given them. And, you know, like I say, it could be explained by, you know, circumstance, coincidence. It could be manifestation. I'm a big believer that if you're constantly thinking about a thing because you're manifesting it, you're already becoming that thing because you're thinking about it more than other people are thinking about it. You know, like being good on social media, you can manifest that by always being on social media and always creating and making things with that. That's how you become good at it. But have you ever heard of the double slit experiment?
No.
Okay. So I'll try and give you a quick explanation on it. It's to do with quantum physics. And this is the only thing that I was like,
You just said quick explanation and quantum physics in the same sentence, mate.
We'll see if you can. We'll see if you can get this into a clip. Then I'll try and get it down into a clippable thing.
Clippable, so we're talking 60 seconds, mate.
Yeah,
there's a challenge.
Okay, right. So scientists, they put 2 slits on a back wall, and they fired electrons through those 2 slits. Now, when they were watching it, it created 2 slits, and it acted like a particle. But when they weren't observing it, it acted like a wave, which means that those particles were in every conceivable place along that line, in every iteration, and when they went through the slit, they created a wave-like pattern on the back wall. When they were being watched, when they weren't being watched, they created a wave. But when they were, they created 2 slits on the back wall. They have no explanation as to why that happened. There's no explanation. They put a device next to the slits because the wave pattern was indicative that the particle, they fired them in one by one as well. Not loads, one by one. And the wave pattern is indicative of the particle going through both slits and then going back to one on the other side, which is impossible. But when they were watching it, it only went through one slit.
Yeah, I can't explain that, mate.
That, to me, is a clear indication of saving computing power. If I was going to create a universe and it was run on a machine, to save power, I would only do stuff when people were watching. If a tree falls in the forest, does it make a noise? Well, it'd take a bit of computing power to make a noise. If there's no one there to hear it, what's the point?
I think...
And that, to me, is like the evidence that there's something else going on here that we're not aware of.
There's many other things going on, mate. I mean, when we go back to energy, there's so many different forms of energy that we can't pick up on. Well, look, we're quite simple creatures. You know, there's a lot going on in the world. Best example I can give you of that right now, we are surrounded currently by Wi-Fi. Like, nobody can see it. You can't see it. I can't see it. Not only are we surrounded by Wi-Fi, you've got radio waves, you've got the phone signals, you've got all this stuff that's here in this room right now that nobody can see. So is it, I guess, when we talk about religion, I believe there's a lot to the world that we don't and can't comprehend because just the confines of our mind don't allow us to fully perceive everything, and what you can't see or what we can't see, we can't understand because we don't have the receptors to study and analyze it.
Do you know mantis shrimp can pick up 17 different colour ranges?
I did not know
We can only do 3.
Really? Mantis shrimp.
That was the most ADHD thing I've ever done. Do you know mantis shrimp can pick up 17 different colour receptors? Yeah, their eyes can pick up 17 different, you know, like we can do red, green, blue. In fact, I think in the eyes, it's actually cyan. What are the other 2?
Green and blue.
Is it green and blue? No, cyan,
red,
yellow, and then it's the same colours that they use in an RBG machine: red, blue, green. But they use cyan for the, you know, for the ink for the mixing of paints.
Right.
They don't use just red, yellow, and blue. They use cyan, like an ink in a printer.
Okay.
But yeah, they can pick up 17 of those. So imagine how mad their visual must be.
This is it. So there's a lot going on that we can't see and understand. I think when it comes to religion, I'm open-minded, but...
Well, that's what I think I am.
It's the principle. I think the thing I reject, there's a couple of things I reject. One's through fear and one's through, I guess, rational thinking. The one man in the sky thing I reject through rational thinking.
Well, it's obvious, isn't it?
The sort of divine fate, like that your path is mapped out, I reject out of fear. Because if that's true, there's a part of me that goes, well, what's the point? You know, if my fate is mapped out already, predetermined, you know, the day that I'm going to pass is mapped out, things I'm going to achieve, and everything is predetermined, it's like, well...
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in that. Because people say there's no free will. I refute that. Because or even though the fact that I can make something change and people go, oh, well, you was always going to do that. Yes, but I wasn't always going to run towards that door and slap my penis on the handle, was I? That wasn't in my future, was it? I decided to do that.
It's an argument you can't win.
Yeah.
But the problem, so I studied a psychological argument about criminality to do with that. And it's a very dangerous thing. If you ascertain that we don't have free will, how do you ever convict anybody?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't their fault. Also,
then you start getting into Minority Report. Is it Minority Report territory where you sort of like convict someone before they've even done it? You know, I think that's a slippery slope, isn't it?
We've gone on a right fucking tangent.
I know. Flipped it, reversed it.
It's one of the beautiful things. So I
know. That's what when Fox is on the podcast. That's it. We're moving mad. But yeah. Should we get back to where we were then?
Do you know what, mate? Because I want to cover it before we completely forget about it and start talking about life on other planets. The climb from darkness.
Yeah.
Is it 9 days from today?
It is.
It is. So 9 days from today, right? This episode's coming out next Friday.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, we are doing the climb from darkness.
I know. And it's actually coming at such a strange time for me because I feel like I've been on this sort of journey of releasing and letting go of all of these things that I've been struggling with and sort of surrendering myself. That wasn't me crying, by the way. I had something in my throat. Surrendering myself to God and to just, you know, try and be at peace with who I am. I've stopped drinking. I've stopped my sort of toxic behavior towards myself, the self-hatred, and really tried to like love myself a bit more and ignore the shit online. And I feel like this climb really is going to just be the apex of all of that work to just like really be back again, you know, to who I really am.
I was going to ask you the question, what does climbing from darkness mean to you? You've kind of just answered that. Let's pause this episode there a moment to thank this episode's sponsors, Axis Decor, and take a minute to talk about the Silk Touch Ultra range. This range of brushes and rollers have hydrophobic filaments that maintain firmness in all paints, spreading them further. They resist paint build-up for easy maintenance, and they remain fine at the tip for exact filament to surface, placement, and finer strokes. Further to that, they've got texturized tips delivering streak-free results. They hold paint back for even, controlled release. And thanks to their elastic tech, they bend to control as you like, and they have unrivaled shape retention. Built with a slip-resistant etched handle and corrosion-resistant stainless ferrule, these brushes are fantastic. As you can see, there's a range of these in front of me now. Big thank you to Axis Decor for supporting the podcast and helping us raise mental health awareness. Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a powerful one, mate. It means a lot to me. I think the people that are going, everybody's got their own story. Most people are former guests.
Yeah.
So everyone's got their reason for doing it. And it's one of the beautiful things about it when I came up with the concept of it. It's not, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're climbing a mountain in the dark. That's not to be like laughed at.
No.
However, it's more the symbolism to me.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, Snowdon, it's not the hardest mountain in the world to climb. You know, we're making it spicy by doing it in the dark.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to play Russian roulette with head torches. Everyone's got to walk for an hour with no head torch on.
Yeah.
That's a joke, by the way. But it's more the, like I say, the symbolism of... So for anyone that hasn't already heard me bleating on about it, we're starting the climb at midnight, there and thereabouts, with the aim to summit Snowdon in time for sunrise, which hopefully with the weather allowing it, will be epic. Watching sunrise on top of a mountain, something I've never done. It's kind of bucket list.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I'm going to try and cry when we get up there.
I think we all need to.
You know, like Logan Paul when he put those colourblind glasses on. I don't know if you probably don't remember that from previous YouTube, but I might try and fake a cry when we get up there and be like, are you recording?
That's it, yeah. Spray bottles.
Do you know what? I might even just cry anyway. We're going with some, like, Big John's going to be there, isn't he?
Big John's going to be there.
Mate, being with him might just make me cry. I love that man. He's such a nice bloke, mate. And he's helped me so much, man. Not even just with brand deals and with navigating the social media world, but like as a friend, he's been amazing to me. And he has been through so much pain in his life, man. I won't, you know, I'm not going to disparage it here because it's his business, but like him sharing his story with me helped me in so many ways, man. And like how he's got through that. So yeah, me and him might have a little cry together.
It's going to be an emotional thing for me because I've kind of met all of you, and a lot of people have. So I know the stories. So when we're all stood there at the top, that'll be quite an emotional thing, I think, because everyone doing the climb has done the climb from darkness,
like a proud shepherd. I'm gonna get you a multicolored dream coat and a cane. And you can guide us to the top like Moses.
I've already set my excuse, mate. I've got to be at the back, making sure everyone gets.
Yeah. No, we want you at the front marching. We're gonna start doing we'll do some of those marching songs and stuff. Get us to the top.
We have got professional guides for that, Foxy. They can do that.
Yeah.
Who I must mention have been sponsored and paid for by CT1.
Yeah.
It's another thing I want to give a shout out to be fair, and you're the one that sorted it out. So CT1 have sponsored the guides for the climb. And Unilight have given us the all-important headlamps so we don't actually walk off the mountain.
You will never, ever meet or be in business with or collaborate with a more honest and beautiful group of people as CT1. The whole ethos of that company is love, family, friends. You know, going to an event with them is like going to a party. It's like going and seeing all your best mates. And the way they brought me in and just took me on as one of their own, and like, man, how many CEOs will text you to ask you how you are? Like Nicola and Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy, me and him text all the time. Me and him get along really well. He's very, very similar people. He said he sees a lot of himself in me, and that's a massive, massive compliment because he's one of the most successful people I've ever met. But that whole business is just built on so much love and caring about people. They are the only company that I've worked for that 100% do not put profits first. They put people first, and then they put their products first because of that, because they take people's stuff really on board, and they're so involved with communities like stuff like this and the football match next week, Trade Legends football match, they're involved with that as well. And they jump on anything to try and support workers, construction workers, people in the industry. There's not a lot of companies that will do that, mate. And most companies will do it because they think it makes their brand look better. Whereas CT1 just does it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that. I've seen that with my own eyes. I've seen them do that. They get involved with things that like a couple of hundred people are involved with. It has absolutely no marketing value whatsoever, but they still do it. Yeah.
Massive respect from obviously Nicola, former guest of the podcast, but she's been great. And when we mentioned the climb, there was no hesitation. It was just like, yeah, we'll do that. So it's great as well. I love to see these brands getting behind us, the people that are in the trade, and supporting what we're doing. So, like I said before, mate, there's a challenge of climbing the mountain, but just as big to me, even the build up, the fact that we're talking about it now, and the fact that it's getting out there and on the tools are supporting it and they're promoting it. It's just starting those little conversations. Just takes one person to go, oh, what's this? Oh, mental health in construction. Yeah. Look at your story. Look at there's everybody going. The former guests. I mean, Christ, there's a lot of stories there.
Yeah.
And they've only got to look at a few and resonate, and that's what it's all about. It's breaking down the stigma, getting people talking.
Yeah.
That's the mission of this. And it's symbolic, and I can't wait to do it, mate. I think it's going to be epic.
You are an old romantic, aren't you?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I think it's good, man.
It will be.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I hope it comes true, because I've got this real romantic notion in my head of like the silhouette of the horse.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I know.
A cloud inversion.
When you told me the name, it's so funny because I turned to Tom and I was like, Tom, he's thinking, we get to the top of the mountain, there's people with here in the right, and the sun's just breaking the horizon. I was like, that's the climb from darkness.
That's
I said that to me as soon as I heard the name. I went,
yeah,
that's the image. Yeah, it's so funny that you've said that.
That's 100% what's in my head. The reality is we're in Wales, so it could well just be pissing it down, and we're all stood there huddled together.
And just be a Welshman that has wandered to the top.
So all stood there going, is it up yet? Is it up yet?
That's so funny.
But no, it'll be, mate, listen, it's already got people talking.
Yeah, mate, you got some big hitters who have been on this podcast as well, some people with massive online followings. Mate, the engagement that's going to go on is crazy.
Hopefully,
yeah. I will certainly be filming my own video and doing a video for it, as well as stories throughout the day and stuff. And
well, look, I mean, I set the target, mate, of raising £4,000. The other thing that we haven't even mentioned yet is we're raising money for the Lost City.
Yes.
So on the tools, Project 7,000, the Lost City, we're raising money for that cause. I set the target of £4,000. Currently sat here now, we're 9 days out. We're at before recording about 2,660 quid.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're higher than that by the time you guys are watching this, but please help. You know, I know times are hard for everyone. Don't anybody think that they are obliged to donate. Wouldn't want that, but you can help what we're doing without actually putting. I mean, if you can afford to donate, please do. But if you can't afford to donate, just share what we're doing. There'll be stories, there'll be posts, there'll be all sorts from people involved. Just give them a share. Let people know what's going on. It's as simple as that. If you can't afford to help financially, please do that. If you can afford to help financially, the cost of a beer, what's a pint now? £5.60, £6. A fiver. Fiver's a minimum donation.
Yeah.
It will make a difference. We've had donations all the way from £5 to £250.
Yeah.
And all of that money is going to Project 7,000, the Lost City, which then goes to band of builders and construction sport who are doing the boots on the ground work to help us people in the construction industry that are struggling with mental health. They're the ones that are going to be there pulling people out of the trenches, actually providing things like financial support, counselling, being there on the crisis lines. It's, by donating to this, we're supporting the industry, you're supporting your own, you're supporting yourself, you're supporting your peers, your friends, and anyone else in the UK construction industry. Yeah. So it couldn't be a better cause to get behind.
Yeah. And for those who don't know what Project 7,000 is, over the last 10 years, we've lost 7,000 tradespeople, and the money that we raise is to try and save the next 7,000. So the goal is over 3 years to raise 2.5 million to make sure that we've got systems in place to make sure that those people never go again. And that's as simple as that. If you've ever been through something, you should resonate with this. And if you can afford to, please give as much as you can, because I'm sure when you went through it, you wish there was someone there to help you. And there isn't enough funding in the government. There isn't enough money for them to spend on it. We've got to do it ourselves, and we've got to raise the money ourselves, and we can. We're doing it. So please give as much as you can for that.
We're climbing a fucking mountain in the dark.
Exactly.
So
I know I'm going to have to moan all the way to the top because I hate walking, man.
So if nothing else, support us for that. But no, it'll be good, man. It'll be good. I'm sure. Yeah. Stay tuned. There will be loads of footage coming off that one, I'm sure, from everybody that's doing it and my account and on the tools and everything.
It'll be a laugh as well. It will be a laugh. Like, we're climbing the mountain with some of the funniest people in the construction industry. I mean, they haven't got followings because they're not interesting or they're not funny. It's a great group of people.
It's great. It'll just be good to get everyone together. Anyway.
Plus, I'm there as well, so I'll be doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the humour department.
Is Assistant Tom carrying you up?
No, I might get him to film it. I don't know if we can though, because I think, isn't there a limit on the amount of people that we can bring because of the guides?
Yeah, we are.
Tell you what I'll do. I'll get Tom to walk up like 3 or 4 meters next to us, just filming with a big lens on.
Yeah, I mean, technically, there's not a lot. I guess anyone's free to climb it, aren't they?
Yeah,
but they just wouldn't be covered under the
thing. Yeah.
But I'm not endorsing that.
I don't think Tom would want to anyway, mate. Tom
that would be his pay rise.
Yeah, listen, Tom doesn't like to do anything he doesn't absolutely necessarily have to do. He's one of those people. Yeah. Yeah, unless you actually tell him to do something, he probably won't do it. And to be fair, like we were saying before, I wish I had that attitude sometimes because I end up doing loads of shit that I don't even need to do because somewhere in my mind, I think I'm not being good or great if I don't do that stupid stuff. It's like, finishing little bits off that's like, oh, I can make that, I've got to do that. They're going over things again and again and again. People don't even fucking notice. And you think, what's the bloody point?
Do, mate.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
It matters. Listen, before we move on, because I want to catch up on what the assistant Tom thing actually has led me into the fact that you've got an assistant now. We'll catch up on how you got there.
I just want to say, the word assistant is a joke. It's not a fucking assistant. I think it's funny to call him an assistant. We've known each other for 15 years. Calling my mate of 15 years an assistant is funny to me. He's just a dude that works with me. It's like, it's my mate who works with me. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Before we move on from the climb, the only other thing I've got to mention to you guys, and I hate doing this because, selling my own stuff, but we have got the Climb from Darkness or the Climb from Dark clothing range. If you go onto our website, www.talkingtradesman.co.uk, this whole range here, all profits are going to the Lost City. So there's another way that you can help. If you want to get some merch, fantastic quality stuff. The design's mint. There's a whole range of colours. There's hoodies, there's T-shirts, all of this stuff. So with this design on, the Climb from Dark, for those watching can see, for those listening, watch. All of this range, all profits are going into the pot for that cause. So it's just another thing you can do if you want to get involved and you want something back as well. It's a win-win. Go and have a look at the clothing range. Now,
don't ever apologise for selling clothing, mate, because your clothing's fucking mint.
Oh,
I mean it as well, mate. You do? Is it branded by Sammy? You do yours is branded by Sammy? You have done before, don't you? You worked with her?
No, not me. I've worked with branded by Sammy for my own work gear.
Yeah.
Sammy's great, by the way. Massive shout out to Sammy. In fact, Sammy came and did the branding in the studio. She did the sponsorship stuff.
Well, her stuff's great quality, and that's why I assumed you have, because it's very similar to that. Premium's premium, isn't it? Yeah. But even your original T-shirts, the ones you gave me,
all the same stuff.
Mate, it's great material.
Same quality.
And I'm not like everybody would just say that, but if you can feel it, it's like proper thick, actual T-shirt material. It's not some thin, lacy little thing.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, the story behind that, because
you were hot on this, weren't you?
Hands up, I could make more profit selling lower quality gear because the margins would be better.
Yeah,
it was never about that. When I went to the lads that have sorted out the clothing range for me, what I said was I want premium, and they were like, well, it'll be this much, and and that they were, well, I could put whatever price tag on things I want, but it don't mean anyone's going to buy it.
No.
The margins on this stuff, this is going to sound like bullshit, but this is the truth. The margins on the clothing range is not massive. I don't make a fat lot of money, but I would rather put premium quality items in people's hands because, for one, I didn't want people to think it was workwear. This is stuff that I want people to be able to wear out and about. And for two, again, believe me or don't believe me, it's not about the money.
No,
I see the clothing range as another string to the bow of raising awareness.
Yeah, bro, it's a walking advertisement campaign, isn't it? Yeah,
if it starts a conversation. Or somebody, reads the Let's Talk, Let's Listen, the classic range that we've got, or any of the new gear, and it just sparks a conversation. That is what it's there for.
Yeah.
And it's quality, and it looks mint.
It's like these fellas. Have you seen these?
I've seen the boys get
tattooed.
They were inspiration.
That's great, man. Like, that's like such a... There's actually pages on the internet where people will take a photo of it if you're walking with this and put it up on that page to like remind people, like, this is what this is why we're doing it.
That's it. It's just that little moment. I mean, you'll see like this.
Mate, this is beautiful as well. This is like, I should do it like a QVC. Guys, have a quick look here. Look at this beautiful, beautiful stitch in here, and we've got this fantastic design at the top here with the climb from the dark. Here, there, with this lovely pattern, and obviously we've got the Project 7000 Lost City campaign badge on the shoulder here. Wonderful neck piece here as well, and you can see it's a great, nice fitted T-shirt as well. I'm guessing this is for the larger man as well. This is fit somebody
fit, my friend.
Just like me. Fit. It's a fantastic piece. Yeah, it's great, mate. I like the colour as well.
When I first launched clothing, I had a couple of people say to me, they're like, why don't it say the Talking Tradesman on? Why haven't you got any Talking Tradesman hoodies and tees and that? I was like, because it's not about that.
No.
It's about the message.
That's not about you furthering this. This is about this.
Well, it's the only,
I like that.
It's on there subtly.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah.
Little TTT, just, but nobody would actually know what that is. So yeah, it's not about that. It's another, as I say, another string to the bow of raising awareness.
Yeah, that's good. And these like limited edition ones and stuff as well is good, man. The bigger you get, and you are getting bigger. I can tell you that right now. I know from social media that you are getting bigger. The whispers, the talks, the comments, I see it. You are getting bigger exponentially. I mean, this is proof of it. You're sat right in it now, aren't you? But like, mate, one day these will become exclusive. If you do exclusive ones of stuff, people will be like, "Do you remember when that was the first line?" I've got a hoodie, mate. Do you know they're not far from around here. TGF on YouTube.
No.
Young lads, Jay and Ramel. They did a clothing line called Childish Clothing, and their original jumper.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. The original jumper was just a normal white with blue sleeves. You can't buy one now because they only did a limited run of them. So anybody that bought one's got one, but they never made any more. And they're going for loads of money now.
Listen to Foxy now. This stuff.
Yeah.
One day. It's
an
appreciation item. It's not clothing. It's an investment.
It's an asset. Yeah.
Actually, funny you should say that. I had a message from the lads that do the clothing range today. This colour, the clay, which I'm gutted about, is now discontinued.
Yeah.
So whoever's bought these, they are already.
Do you know what? I do want to say something to you because you tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you can't.
And if I'm wrong, because I'll try and get inside of your thinking here. Don't ever think that marketing this stuff like a business would and selling this stuff like a business would in all of the ways that you should to make sure you get the maximum amount sold, just because it's for a charity, do all that stuff. Because I would think in myself, oh, this is for charity. I shouldn't be marketing this hard. I shouldn't be hard selling stuff. It's not what it's about. But it is, because you owe it to the people that this is going to help to raise the most amount of money. So you might in your head think, oh, that's a bit predatory. I shouldn't do it like that. That's how, all the ways you could market a piece of clothing. There are some predatory ways you could do that and some more than others. But you owe it to this, and you owe it to the people that this will help to do that and go for it and sell it, really sell it like it is a business. Just because it's for charity, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't hammer it down people's throats.
That, mate, because you're right. There is that part where I'm like, I shouldn't,
Because I noticed when you said, I hate selling stuff. Don't. You owe it to them. So don't hate it. Love it. And do it,
man. Different angle.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because only because I would feel the same way. I'd be like, this is a charity thing. We shouldn't be shoving it down people's throats. Remember, mate. Do you know Cancer Research UK spend 80% of all of the money they get on procuring more money.
Really?
So don't ever feel bad about what you do.
There's a part of it. Do you know what? That's the other thing, mate. It's the reason. One of the reasons I made sure that it's mint gear, because I didn't want anyone to part with money and be disappointed. I've done it myself, where you buy things because it's part of a movement or a merchandise essentially, and you get it and you're like, yes,
I get
it's okay, but the quality. Wash it a couple of times, it's done.
Yeah.
This stuff won't do that, and that's why I went with the premium. There's, like I say, lower profit lines, but
mate, you got to remember as well. The ladies and gentlemen watching this, mate, they're not short of a few bob. We're in the we're in the fucking construction industry. I mean,
true.
A fucking cleaner makes £200 a day. We ain't short of a few bob. You make this cost however much it costs to give the most money to people, and you should always do that. People are buying these shirts first to help people, and if they get a quality garment, well, that's just a fucking bonus, then, isn't it?
You can buy it. The money is going to go to a fantastic cause. You're going to look good. You're going to be happy with the quality of it. What more can you want?
Exactly.
Appreciate your input, man. Thanks for the QVC style sales.
That's all right, man. I'm something of a little bit of a business wizard myself,
Foxy, I want to catch up with you now, though, dude. I want to find out, because your world, your life, mate, it moves so quick.
Yeah.
Like, we've already touched on a few differences from the first time you were in to this time.
Yeah.
How's the last year been, essentially?
It's just been mad, mate. It's been weird navigating this world. Like, I've always been an attention whore because I think growing up with lots of other siblings and being a middle child, I never really got the attention that I needed. Even if I did emotionally and whatever, there was just literally not enough time for 5 kids. But now trying to discover myself whilst that person is like being put online is so weird, man, because I second guess myself all the time. I'm like, I'll be rude to somebody or I'll offend somebody, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. And then I try and fix it and I make it worse, because if it's online, it's like you're not just having that conversation with them, and then also they don't know whether you're going to share it and then create some sort of storm. I've dealt with so many things over the last year where I'm like, man, this is like so much harder than I thought it would be. But on top of that, it's been the best year of my life. Like, it's been amazing. Some of the places I've been, the people that I've met, like, got to chill with. I mean,
listen, mate, we're going to touch on this.
Some pretty cool stuff.
Because I had forgotten, and you've just said that, and it's reminded me places you've been. So I'm watching this guy's socials, keeping track of Foxy, and then just one day, randomly, me and assistant Tom are off to Albania.
Yeah,
mate, what the fuck?
I know.
Like, what? Just tell me why.
Okay, so right, okay, I'm going to try and explain this without sounding like a fucking madman.
Madder the better.
Yeah, right. So obviously online, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everything is to do with decorating. And I like that because in that space, I can actually help people. So, like, I can show people how to do stuff, or I can show them a different way of doing stuff. I get decorators messaging me all the time going, I literally never thought of doing it like that. I've just always done it like this. By the way, just want you to all to know, just because the way you do something isn't the way somebody else does something, doesn't mean that their way is wrong or your way is wrong. It's just
many
a
ways
different
to skin
way.
a cat, as the old saying goes.
So long as you get to the same result at the end, what does it matter? Anyway, moving on from that. On those social media platforms, I've got this thing, and I know that it works, it's growing well, and it's become a business in itself. I have started on YouTube, and I've been grasping with what I want to do on there.
Okay.
Now, I am making, and I've already made a YouTube video. I used the world's darkest paint, painted a whole room with it, and you could it was like being in the galaxy. It was cool. I want to continue to make other videos like that on that channel, because then that's like YouTube decorating channel. But I'm starting another channel where I just travel. But I go to places that like nobody fucking wants to go to.
Is this channel up?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
So what we're going to do is we film the Albania one. We're going to go to another 2 places, and then we're going to release them once a month and have one in the tank, so that we can continue to keep doing what we're doing. Also, as well, it'll give me time to catch up financially and make sure that we can afford to do it, rather than just doing what I always do and jumping head first and end up fucking skinting my other businesses as well. So what we're going to do is make another 2 trip videos. By the way, the fucking Albania trip, it was mental. Like, everything you could imagine possible happened.
How long were you there?
We were there for 3 days. I lost my phone. It was in a taxi. I'd left my bag at the airport. We met all sorts of crazy people. Like, mate, some of the people were fucking nuts, man. We were like, me and Tom was like, in some of the places, like, oh, God, we walked down this road that was just full of drug dealers. And
they're kind of famous for that, though, aren't they? Let's be honest.
I just want to say that on the whole, Albania is a wonderful place. And it's not what you think. And that's why the first episode is going to be the real Albania.
Okay.
Because we really showed it, mate, warts and all. We got 12 hours of footage to go through to make it into a 15, 20-minute YouTube video. It's going to be all of the, like, hyperactive, fast-paced nonsense that you see on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You're going to get exactly the same thing with the YouTube channel. So what I've decided is we're going to get all that footage and then condense it down into a little ADHD ball of content. It's crazy, mate. We bought suits in the middle of Albania. went to the shooting range and was shooting AK-47s with a fucking full-length suit on as well. That we got Tom. I look like a nutcase because I've got this collar that's like up here, like this.
Fucking Dracula.
Yeah. Oh, Tom looks like a fucking geography teacher. It was brilliant, man. And then we just did all sorts of mad shit, man. When we were there, it was a crazy trip, and I think that we really did what we set out to do was to show the real Albania and what people that forget all the misconceptions about the mafia and all of that. And it is a dangerous place if you go to the wrong places, but we went to those dangerous places, and the people were lovely. Because the thing is, like, even in the most dangerous place in the world, those are still people.
Yeah.
They still have to go to work. They still have to take their kids to school. They still have to go to the shop to get groceries. Like, you might be a mafia boss, you still have to buy bread. Like, those people are just normal people. And you know, if you speak to them on a level, they're sound. Yeah. And it was great, man. It was really good. We've talked about the next 2 trips. A couple of things on the table at the moment are Iraq, Fallujah, North Korea.
Fucking mate, listen, just warn us if you go there because you ain't coming back.
Yeah. But then we're also thinking about doing. You can
get into North Korea, can you?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, they do trips. I think they're probably a little bit set up. I didn't say that. But you can go there.
Okay.
So maybe not, but we'll see. It's basically what I can convince Assistant Tom to do. So he's the one that doesn't want to go to Iraq and he doesn't want to go to North Korea. We settled on maybe like Serbia, something like that. I want to get quite close to Russia as well.
You're just going to keep nudging him further along.
But do you know what? He was actually sound when we went to Albania. He was like walking down a road that's like notoriously drug dealers. He's like, "Come on, let's go further. Let's get to the mountain." But yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do with the YouTube channel and stuff, and you know, really just go into something else.
Interesting.
And continue to do everything I'm already doing. Don't worry, I'm not trying to like switch it, reverse it, anything. I'm not. That's it. You know, I'm going to stay the same. I'm going to keep doing the same stuff, but I just want that as well. But here's the catch. I don't give a fuck if it never takes off. I'm still going to continue to do it because it's an excuse to go on holiday with my best mate. So don't tell anybody that. And it's technically work, so it's an expense. Tell me it's not. It is. So yeah, I'm going to do it regardless.
It's when you start going, we've gone to this really ropey place. With this week, we're going to Jamaica.
Yeah. Guys, we're going to one of the most dangerous places on the planet. Barbados.
Yeah.
Bora Bora. Yeah. We're going to find out the real Ibiza. Yes, that's what we're doing with that. And it's just different, man. Like, I just want to do something different. I could quite easily scale a YouTube channel about decorating, and I will still continue doing decorating based YouTube videos, not so much the how-tos, because that's the reason I did it in the first place, is to not make the how-tos on YouTube.
YouTube is a beast. I mean, the lads like the home improvement lads and
they're killing it, man.
They produce, Mark Marshall, them videos, mate, they are full-scale productions, like film crew. You're probably better than what you see on terrestrial telly.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it's a different world.
Home Improvements channel, mate. Those boys fucking have taught me so much, like, about this world. Like, they're probably one of the most influential people that in this space that I've met, and definitely the most helpful. Like, just they'll help anybody that's clearly got that drive to do something and be something. And the thing is, as well, it's a benefit to them because as you grow, you then create your own channel, and then you can support them. You know, it's like we all help each other. Yeah, I often, like, me and Brad will FaceTime each other regularly, and we chat, and I just get along really well with those lads as well. They're so sound.
A few times, always been a really positive experience. So
yeah,
a lot of respect. Look up, it's one of them things, isn't it? Those are the guys that are at the top of the mountain, and you go, okay,
if they can do it,
get up?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's fucking brilliant, mate. I wish you all the best with that. I'm sure I'm interested to watch it already, so I'm sure everyone listening will be the same, mate, just to see what fucking shenanigans goes on with something like that.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Like, it's everything that you think it would be. Like, imagine the scenario of what it would be like me, a big floundering idiot in Albania. It was exactly like that, and it was all caught on camera. So, yeah, it was nuts, man.
When did you get to the point, mate, where you went, because taking on your friend, assistant Tom, like what brought that about?
I think financially, I was like, I just looked at the books and I was like, well, I've got X amount from my sponsorships, and then I'm getting this as well from the brand deals, and then I'm also getting ad payments. And I was like, I can't do any more work because I'm at the limit of how much I can film and edit by myself. So how can I increase my output without killing myself? And the obvious answer was to take another person on to share some of the burden. You know, Tom's the cameraman, so all of that's taken care of. We get much better shots now. Tom's great with the camera as well. He's learned how to use it, and I've shown him how to take a shot, how to get the lighting right, and what should be in a shot, you know, to not make it look too busy. Like, people probably think, that we just do our job decorating, or, you know, whatever social media person you follow, and we just film it and that's it. We edit it and we put it together. Well, we think of everything, like what's in the video, like what would be the most visually appealing, what happens in the first 3 seconds, what's the retention rate, what's the 10-second retainer, what's the payoff for the video, what happens in the middle. Every fraction of a second of the video is like analysed to make sure that it hits a viral thing. Like, I'll edit a video, I'll do a first draft, then I'll go through it again and speed anything up that I think doesn't need to be as long, so I'll fast forward it, and then I'll do a third edit and edit out like micro fractions of like just before I start a word. So sometimes when you start a word, you swallow or you and you make a noise. I'll cut all those pieces out throughout the whole video, and then sometimes I'll go back through it and add memes and stuff into it as well. And like a 60-second video can take me like 4.5 hours to edit. But if you really care about it, you will do that, you know, and like to make it, to make it really, really good.
Do you do all your own editing still?
Yeah. I've got an editor, shout out Sam, is an absolute legend. He does the YouTube edits. So he edited my first YouTube video, and he will be doing the travel stuff as well. And what I'll do is I'll do like a draft edit of everything that I want in it, and then I'll give him a storyline and maybe, you know, give him a script for it. Pardon me, script for it as well, and then he will edit it into a proper video.
Okay.
Just because, again, you know, I could sit there and do that, but Sam's a better editor than me.
Yeah.
It's going to be a better product, and I don't mind spending money. Like this is, I think, what separates entrepreneurial people from other people that, you know, are not interested in that. Like, I will throw £600 away if I think there's a chance that in the future that could pay off, because it will. I can see the path of how things grow. You know, like the YouTube channel. Most people would think that spending 500 quid on an edit is insane, but if that is then a perfect quality product, when we're 10 videos down the line, I'll still like the first one. Whereas when you start on social media, the first 10 videos, I hate the first 100 videos I made because of all the mistakes that I made. I didn't really know I was making those mistakes. But like, I haven't got to make those mistakes for the YouTube stuff. I'll just spend the money and make sure that it's right from the get-go.
Yeah.
And then it's all quality stuff, isn't it? You know, and look, there's no rush. Like, I could do a video, wait a while, and then put another one up. People are always like, oh, you got to put out one here, one. It doesn't matter, because in 2 years, you'll have 20, 30 videos, and the people seeing those videos won't even fucking know that, that you had a period where you were flaky.
It's a valid point. It is a valid point. I mean, I kind of probably to suit my own ends, really. I romanticise the fact that with my journey, say with the podcast, you can like my first, I don't know how many, I don't know what camera I had when you were in, but literally I started the podcast on a 4K webcam, you know, and then I've upgraded the mics, I've upgraded everything along the way. But if you went back to the first few as a first listen, you compared to now, it would be like, ooh. You know, in fact, the first I look back now at I look at it, as I say, quite romantically. I'm like, oh, isn't that cute?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, it is a bit like that.
The way that it was, even the first setup was fucking horrendous. But at the same time, I had no idea what I was doing. So it was like, yeah, I think this. And then, but that to me, it's been the natural growth of. And I'll watch it back, and I'll probably do what you do. You watch it, you listen to it back, and you go, I got to tweak that.
Do that. I'm a psycho with that as well. An absolute psychopath.
I think if
that.
I had more time, I'd be worse. Yeah, it's probably my next big step up would be to bring in help. Yeah, you know, a professional editor and somebody and all that kind of stuff. Because at the moment, I do everything.
Well, you don't like Sam. Sam isn't full time with me. You know, he's an agent. He's in on an ad hoc basis. When I need him, I'll pay him, and then he goes off and he does whatever he does. He's a free agent. So I only pay him for the edit that he does, you know. I suppose once you do it once, you'd probably want everyone to look like that, wouldn't you? So
yeah, more than likely. Yeah.
But you know, the thing is, mate. One thing I have learned is editors are well fucking better at this than you think they are. Like, if you showed them one of your episodes and said, "Look, I ain't got time to edit this episode. Can you edit it for me? Can you make it look like that one?" They'd flick through that episode and it would look exactly the same. Exactly the same. And whatever thing you do, they would know how to do it.
It's all part of the journey, mate. Yeah. At least we're coming back to that same thing, aren't we? Of never being happy.
Yeah.
Wanting more and better and more and better and more and better.
There's a control thing as well. Like, I'm a freak. I wouldn't let somebody edit my reels and stuff. I really don't like it when a company does an edit for me and then to post to my social media, because I'm like, this just isn't the way that I edit.
I think people can pick that out a million miles away, though.
Yeah.
Because there's a way that you're like, I can watch your video and know it's you before I see you.
Yeah.
Which isn't normally very long.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can watch one of Kev's videos and know it's him within the first few seconds.
It's style, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's it. And I think, you know, there's a few other creators out there, same thing. You can watch it, I'm like, before I see them, I know that is just the camera angle or whatever it might be. But that's kind of part of the identity of you.
Yeah, of course it is. And like that's what you're aiming for, really, is like to. I think for a while I didn't know who I was on social media. I fucking know exactly who I am now. I'm very comfortable with who I am on social media now. And I'm a lot more open with myself, and I've let a lot more of myself out there and into the sphere. It's impossible not to. I know we said earlier about, you know, it being a different person. A lot of people think that that's an exaggerated version of me on social. It's fucking not. It's the opposite. Like, that's me keeping it cool. If you got to see me actually on site, you'd be like, fuck me, he's a nutcase. Like, I actually turn the dial down a little bit for social media, because obviously you want to work with brands and stuff, and those brands are respectable businesses. They don't want to, you know, you can be a silly boy, but, you know, you can't be acting a daft all the time, because they've got a business to represent, and they don't want it represented by an absolute clown, do they? So I am an absolute clown. I have to turn it down a little bit. But luckily, like, a lot of these companies, man, if anything, when I've said to them, look, obviously this is, you know, what do you want me to do? Because I would instinctively do this silly thing, and they go, no, do it. We want you to do that. We like your videos. Like, be yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, it's quite good. But yeah, I'm definitely a lot more open now with who I am on social media.
I think you're just getting started still, you know. And the fact that you've said this last year has been that, this is like almost like ground zero, isn't it? This is like the establishment, the rebuild or the rebirth.
Yeah,
that's a very profound one. The rebirth of you, and now you're creating who you want to be.
Yeah,
or who you are, rather than who you want to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, well, mate, I'll stay tuned and keep watching it. I mean, 2 questions, mate.
Go on.
The last year. Which one to go with first? Highest point. It's the best thing that's happened to you over the last year.
Do you know what? And it's such a weird one. It was being at the decorating show, and how many people came running to the CT1 stand to just meet me. And I was like, I kept saying to people throughout the day, you do know I'm just a fucking idiot decorator. Like, why? There was people queuing to come and speak to me, and I was like, you don't need to queue, just come here. Like, you can just speak to me. But people wanted to have a photo and stuff. I took photos with 100 people that day, and I found it so mad. Like, there's a lot of college kids that follow me. Like, there are colleges that show my videos in the classes. I get messages from the teachers and what do they call them in college? Tutors, lecturers. Yeah. That'll say, "Oh, we played your visit," and then they'll message me to like ask me to come into the colleges and stuff, and try and do as much of that stuff as possible. But I still find that so weird. And being there this year, sorry, the one just gone, was the first time that I saw all of those people that messaged me. And the love and stuff that I got from that. And I was just like, this is what the guys at CT1 couldn't believe it. They were like, we've never sold so much cork before. Like, it was strange, man. And like, I just, for a moment, I was like, this is different now. Like, things are different. Like, I went to get some lunch, and it took me 45 minutes to get from the stand to the food, because I just got stopped and then I'll be talking to somebody, and I can sense that there's someone stood here like waiting to speak to me, and then I turn and speak to them, and then it was crazy, man. I'm like, I'm just a decorator. Like, I'm just and I'm an idiot as well. Like, I'm not even like, I don't put myself out there as like the oracle of decorating and that everybody should listen to me. Like, that's genuinely not what I do. But yeah, I was like, I've got fucking like actual followers. This is weird.
Well, I think that's turning into fans, mate, isn't it? Is what that is.
Oh, I don't like that word. That makes me very uncomfortable. That does. Yeah, that makes me very uncomfortable. I would never like to call someone a fan. God, no. Followers.
Mate, if somebody's queuing up to take a picture with you, but listen, we're going to go semantics on the words. Obviously, the reverse of that, mate. Lowest point of the last year.
I laid in the bottom of my shower being sick, and I was so ill from the amount of alcohol that I drank over that period of 3 days on the binge that I was on, that I couldn't even lift my head up to throw up facing down, and it just poured out the side of my mouth. And I laid there in that moment and thought, I'm never, ever, ever going to do this to myself again, because I'd gone on an alcohol drinking binge. My trouble with alcohol, and me and Tom talk about this regularly. Tom has completely stopped drinking, and it's inspired me to stop as well, completely. And I mean completely. Tom's not drank now for 3 months, but Tom wasn't a binge drinker. He was a regular drinker. So he was always drinking, but he wasn't drunk. Do you know what I mean? He probably was, but he was always drinking. So like throughout the day, in the evening, like he was, he'll admit this himself. He's not shy to be honest with it. But mine is binge drinking. So I won't drink all week, but then there'll be a weekend where I am plastered the whole weekend. And then once I have that amount of alcohol on that Friday night, that it's like so high in my bloodstream that it makes me ill, I then drink all weekend to recover from it.
Okay.
I'll drink in the morning, and at lunch, mate, and in the evening.
I'll bring one thing up, because if I'm being honest with you now, I saw it and it worried me, and I looked at your comments to see what the response had been, which was you necking that bottle of JD.
Yeah.
And I watched that and I thought, I fucking pray that ain't real. Yeah. And then I saw the concern in the comments below, and I thought, I considered messaging you, and I thought
some people did,
and I thought,
yeah, a few people did.
I know that. If I'm honest, I didn't know if it was a stunt or it was real, and I thought, if it's real, I just hope he's okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to add to because I know you had a lot of comments below that were, you'd got a split of like, fucking fair play, mate, and like, are you okay? So I knew there was people asking them questions, but I did worry when I watched that because I thought, that's some fucking...
It was mad. I threw up straight after.
Right.
Yeah. I necked that bottle.
So that was a real bottle?
Yeah.
Mate.
I mean, to be fair, I've done that. As a young man, I've done that loads of times.
To the point, though, mate, when I watched it and then I checked in the morning and you'd been active and you'd responded.
Yeah.
I'm up and about, I'm doing this and that and the other. I thought, fair play.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't. I was hanging out my arse and I was just putting front on. Okay. I was fucked up. I was ill. While that was going on, do you know what? It's funny. Like at the time, I thought everything was fine, but now looking back, there was a massive, massive family problem going on with my sister, and I was just in constant anxiety, and I just couldn't like get away from everything that was going on. And my mum was ill because of it. It was making my mum sick. I was on the phone to my dad every day, and I was just trying to hold the family together with so much just going on, and I felt like I was getting attacked from all angles.
So you just wanted to switch off?
Yeah, mate. I'd just drink myself into oblivion, so I didn't think about it. It was like I was getting through the day and just dealing with everyone and dealing with everything, and bang, bang, bang. And if you actually look, there's a big gap in my social media around about the Christmas period, when all of that was going on. And that's what I was doing. I was getting through it, taking the phone calls, dealing with the stuff that was going on. And I won't get into it because I don't want to. It was my sister, and the whole thing pissed me off so fucking much. But I don't want to air her on social media because it's not fair, and I won't do that to her. But the whole thing really fucking affected everybody in my family, and it was a very dark time. But I was dealing with that in a very, very unhealthy way because it was the only way that I know how. But like, that's the only way I'd always dealt with stuff. And you know, Lee, who's a great guy, Wilcox, who owns
the tools, yeah.
He messaged me saying, "Dude, even if that's not real, just think about what message that sends, man. You don't stand to gain a lot by leaving that up, but you stand a lot to lose." And I took it down the next day, and I was like, it was just stupid. I think that was me, bro, almost like a cry for help.
Yeah,
like,
of course, yeah.
Because obviously I only ever put happy things on social media. So to tell people that I'm going through something, it's like I had to do it in that way instead of just being honest. Because I didn't think I could just say it, you know, that I was struggling.
Appreciate your honesty, man.
But yeah, that was it, man. And that's the darkest time of this past year. And that wasn't even during that time, by the way. It was, you know, before that. But yeah, that's probably the darkest place I've been.
There's a reason I should have done it the other way around, mate. Gone low and then pulled you back.
No, because you know what? I think you did it the right way, because actually I wouldn't have even wanted to talk about. I think you did it the right way, because I wouldn't want to then segue this now into a really happy conversation. Yeah, no, you did it the right way around.
The reason I did it is because one of the points I've been trying to make recently is this social media. You only see that.
Yeah.
The upward trajectory. And you can see it with you, like from the outside in, and you are doing really well. But it looks to me, I'm like, well, fuck, I spoke to him a year ago and look what he's doing now. But the reality is, it isn't that, is it? It's that. It's down,
I would say it's like a bounce.
Yeah, with gradual incline.
But from the outside, it looks like that. But you know what, man? If you want to be anything in this world, you're not going to be able to put a pause on all the shit that you're going to have to deal with in your life. That stuff is still going to have to happen to you, and you're still going to have to go through that. But guess what? You're going to have to fucking go through that while you're trying to be great.
Yeah.
People are still going to die. People are still going to get ill. People are still going to try and hurt you. People are still going to ruin your life. You're still going to lose money. They're all going to happen. You have to be great in spite of that. That's how you get successful. All the shit that I've been through or done to myself, you know, self-inflicted or otherwise, over the last 10 years, it's weak moments, but I fucking got through it, and I'm still here now. And I'll continue to do stupid stuff. There's no way. I see no future where I don't do self-sabotage things. Things just happen, and you don't realise you've done it till you look back. But I'm going to get through that, and I'm going to keep moving forward regardless. Nobody needs to worry about me. I'll be fine. I always have been. I always will be. I don't need people to worry about me. And you don't need to send me messages to say, well, I promise you I'm fine. I've always been a fucking nutcase. I'm not going to change anytime soon. But it's about still doing the things that you are required to do while you're going through whatever you're going through. And that's the way to get successful, I think.
Great, mate. Yeah, there's a clip in there. No, you're spot on though, mate. You really are. You really are. I think it's a good place to kind of pull it to a close.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you want to?
What's your quickly? I won't keep you for long.
Come at me, absolutely.
I want to word it right. In the last year, what are you most proud of?
Wow. Most proud, bringing people together. There's a couple of moments, mate, and it's that little moment, and the opening day here was one of them. And I stood there in that doorway, and nobody was looking at me, but I just looked out into the room and saw everybody mingling. And I saw, Sean Nolan, for example, flew over from Dublin. I had people travel from all around the UK, and that little moment of ego where I stood there and went, I did this. I brought these people together in this room.
Yeah.
And seeing that, and seeing some of the friendships that have grown from doing this, and some of the connections that have been made, I think it's that.
You know, when you're saying that, I saw you say a lot of seeing other people doing this and doing this. Next time you ask that question, you need to say yourself, because you did this. They didn't do it. They just turned up. You're most proud of yourself, mate. You're very, very easily take yourself out of the situation. I noticed that about you. It's almost like you don't want to get the gratification for what you've achieved. Like, you did this, mate. You're most proud of yourself, not these people in this room. Like, you brought them together. It was you, man. All of this is because of you. I'm sat here because of you. You need to fucking give yourself a pat on the back more, mate.
I don't see. Yeah. Do you know what? If we went really deep, mate, I need to do some work on myself, because I can't accept that. So I genuinely, when I think about all this, and I've said this multiple times, where I'm like, the podcast would be nothing if it wasn't for you guys. It would just be me sat in an empty room.
Well, guess what? It wouldn't even fucking exist if it wasn't for you, mate.
I do take that on board. But yeah, I guess if I'm going to go really deep, I need to learn to love myself, because I probably don't.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot of deep-rooted childhood stuff that is the cause of that.
Probably every single person watching will resonate with that on some sort of level, mate, because I think it's almost like this society doesn't reward people loving themselves. So that's interesting, mate. But you got to love yourself, man. You're a fucking beautiful human being, and I love you. And you've done a lot of stuff. You've helped me personally. You've helped my followers. God knows you've helped your followers. But helping people, and not just men. And that's what I love about your podcast as well. It's not just a bunch of lads. It's everyone. It's all of us that are in the construction industry or around it. You've helped so many people, mate. And from everybody watching, through me, thank you.
A big love, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Love you, bro.
Thank you, my man.
Okay.
While we wrap things up, emotional moments. Before I do wrap things up, quick shout out to the Funky Peach for providing the guest merchandise, of which I am going to bestow upon Foxy.
Some merch.
Got some new merch heading your way. And another shout out to Steve over at Uncle Matt's Hats. If you haven't checked out Uncle Matt's Hats, please do. Go on their socials, go check them out. Incredible story. Have you seen the episode?
Yeah.
Foxy's going to take an Uncle Matt's hat away. So yeah, big shout out to you guys. Go and check them out. thank you for listening. If you've stayed this long, please support The Climb from Darkness, happening tomorrow. In fact, while you're listening to this, depending on when you're listening to it, we might even be on a mountain. So yeah.
Have you got a comment section on the video that will go up?
Yeah.
Okay, so
sections.
If you have watched it all the way to here, comment "love yous" in the chat. All right, and then maybe I'll send you something as a bonus.
There you go. Mate, it's been a pleasure. Thank you,
mate, as always. Thank you.
Catch you soon on the next one.
Love yous.